Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here today in Flight Sim 2024, and I have a very, very special episode planned for today. Now, this episode is going to be more of a storytelling episode, but I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love it. So please stick around. Now, we are in Afghanistan, and I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2011 when I was with the United States Army. I spent from the end of 2010 is when I deployed or left the United States, but I didn't get into Afghanistan until about, I think it was just inside 2011. And then I left here, what was it, late October 2011 to start my out processing from the Army. So yeah, so we are right now in Salerno. Salerno is represented on the world map on Microsoft Flight Sim. I was very shocked. It's even called Salerno. Now, looking at it, obviously, I wouldn't have expected it to look like what it does in real life when I was there. Of course, that was 14 years ago. But it's the airfield is represented. It is a we'll fly over there and see in a minute. That's quite the journey over there. But the airfield is a dirt airfield. It is a dirt runway. You can actually just see it right there. Actually, it is dirt. I've flown into this airbase on a C-130 from Bagram. God, that flight in was nuts. I did not like that landing. And then I flew out on a Chinook from over in this area of the base, where the terminal is. I flew out on a Chinook to my final destination when I was in Afghanistan, which is Camp Clark. Which Camp Clark, if you look at this mountain ridge over here, where I am running my cursor, it's right up against those mountains. So it's not too far, but it's still, I mean, if you want to get there quickly, you want to do a chopper ride, which I did one in a Chinook. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be flying from here in Salerno to Camp Clark, and I'll be showing you guys Camp Clark. But no, Salerno was like the home base for my brigade. And I was with the 1st Infantry Division, 3rd Brigade, and I was with 6-4 Cav. Well, I was attached to 6-4 Cav. I think I was, oh God, I don't even remember what my BSB, 301st BSB. Oh God, 201st. Yeah, I mean, I was attached to for so long, I don't even know what my actual, the full information. I was so caught up in being in a Cav unit. It was freaking awesome. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the head tracker. Head tracker is active. Let's go ahead and start this bird up. All right. Battery right there. APU started up. Generators are on. APU generators active. Backup power is on. Gotta flip all these switches. Bottom anti-collision, top anti-collision position lights. All right. Make sure we put those in the right position. I tend to forget about those ones. Engine 2 startup. All right. Everything is starting up. But yeah, if you look, there's the airfield right there. It's not a long airfield at all, but a C-130 can land there. So I'm curious. We're going to fly over this direction right here. See what the terminal looks like at Salerno on this map. But yeah, it was really cool being a part of 1st Infantry Division and also in a Cav unit. So, I forget what they call it. I think it was the gold spurs that are for deployments. So if I was in a Cav unit, I got gold spurs. I think it was gold spurs, unless it was silver spurs. I don't know. Someone in the comment section below, remind me on which one. I know that one of the spurs, it was either gold or silver. I'm leaning towards silver. Silver spurs was for what's called a Cav ride, and it's pretty much a hazing tradition that happens to soldiers. You have like I think it was a 48-hour or 24-hour hazing period that you're constantly getting just like smoked, which is, I mean, a lot of people that don't understand this, the terminology smoked. It's basically you're working out, you're stressing your body out for a extreme amount of time. People do drop out and they won't get their spurs, but I do know that I have a deployment spur. I have never been issued them. I think you have to buy them yourself. I don't know, but yeah, I do have at least one of the two spurs. I thought about doing the cab ride, but that was just, I couldn't fathom the idea of doing a 48-hour hazing ritual. Just wasn't my cup of tea. Whoa, I don't know why okay. Chopper decided to take off on its own. I didn't even have my collective up. That's interesting. All right, we have a Chinook that has a mind of its own. All right, so the terminal would have been over here. Yeah, obviously the terminal is not representative of the environment, so it would have been like right here. Because let's see if we can set the bird down. Oh, it inverted my controls. What? All right, that's half the problem. There was an update to my computer or something, and it decided to invert controls. So let's go ahead and land her over here. This is not actually how you would land a helicopter in an airbase, obviously. And I think one of my engines just shut off because I accidentally shut it off. Come on, set her down nice and gentle. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. There we go. We got her now. All right, so we need to start up engine 2 again. Yeah, she's dead. That's all right. But no, this is where the terminal would have been. So I remember this. The chopper or the Chinook had its rear end facing these buildings, and we would hot load into this Chinook. So if you don't know what a hot load is, basically the props or the propellers at the top are full speed. You're feeling the heat off the engines, and you're loading while everything is still running. Tell you what, rocks hitting you in the face from these props is not fun. Of course, though, I had my Kevlar helmet on, and then I had goggles on, so wouldn't put my eyes out, essentially. All right, we're just waiting for the everything to start back up. Looks like everything is looking good again. We're in flight mode. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and take off. My controls just decided to invert themselves, though, and that's why we had a preemptive takeoff. And then we take off in this direction. So when you look at these pads off to the right, and I remember this pretty clearly, those pads right there held a bunch of Apaches. This was an Apache like airfield, essentially. They also had little birds or Kiowas. But yeah, now we just head out there. It is it's not a long flight either that goes out here. But yeah. When thinking about Afghanistan, people don't really think of beauty, but man, when I was here, this place was actually really, really beautiful. Culture was great. Now, there was a misconception when it came to the Afghan people. It wasn't the Afghanistan people that we were like fighting, essentially. It was the terrorists that come over, the Al Qaeda, Taliban, that come over the border from Pakistan, because half the time they would do like sneak attacks on us and then run over the border where they know we can't get them, or they just hide in caves, whichever. But we had stuff that can collapse the caves on them, like artillery, Oh, we had some nice artillery pieces, 155s especially. And then we also had the big old bombs and the Spectre gunship. Well, yeah, we're gonna go over here, check out Camp Clark. There is actually a helipad that is at the that is actually representative also in Flight Sim. I found that was very interesting. Like, wow, there's an actual flight like a helipad. It's not a big helipad at all by any means, and I know for a fact that I would not be able to land on that airpad or a helipad. It is so small. Now, I've also flown in a Black Hawk from Salerno to Camp Clark, where I was at. Trying to make sure I get my bearings so I don't go in the wrong direction. It's actually over here. There's actually a mountain that's connected or right next to where I was at too, that was used as a firing range for our artillery batteries at the camp. And also the Apaches would come out there and test fire the 30 cals, the rocket pods. Hope I didn't just get turned around because I feel like I did. Nope, I see it. I see it. It's just in the distance right there. A big of a compound. So Camp Clark was essentially a base camp inside of a base. It was an ANA base. It was an Afghan army base that we were in the middle of. Now, it was kind of unsettling because you never know when the Afghan army would just flip on you. Yep, that's it right there. But I loved seeing the mountains. Those mountains right there were always snow-capped for me when I was there. There's Camp Clark. It's very small compared to the ANA base. Let's go ahead and drop the altitude a little bit. I did do tower guard and I did gate guard. I find it interesting. I mean, obviously there's no military, U.S. military presence right now at that camp, as far as I'm aware. But thinking about it, 14 years ago I was here. Doesn't feel like it's been that long, but man, has it been that long. Wow. All right. So I see the clamshell, what would have been the clamshells. These right here are maintenance buildings. Oops, let me go outside. So this right here, where I'm outlining, is where the let me see if I can do there, get a better angle. This right here is Camp Clark, where I'm outlining. These right here, where I'm outlining as well, are where the maintenance clamshells. And then where we slept, where I slept, was right here. We had a little compound right there, right next to a mortar pit. Circle back around. But yeah, this is and then we have our laundry buildings. We're right in the middle between these buildings and these buildings. These little buildings were the actual like bee huts they called for the other units that were there. We actually had a concrete building that was up here. We got lucky. Still leaked though. My little shop was like right there. Let me circle back around. There's the airfield or the helipad. Yeah, that was barely finished, barely. But no, my little shop, I had a little tiny shop that was in the back end of this little notch right here. That's where I was at. But yeah, this mountain right here It doesn't seem that high in the flight sim, but this mountain right there is where they would test fire the artillery, 155 artillery, the Chinooks, not Chinooks, my bad, the Apaches would definitely fire off right there, the Kiowas as well. Now I have gone up this pass right through here to another base or another camp. I only did that once. But yeah, that is Camp Clark. It's crazy seeing it actually, like, it's not representative to what it exactly looks like, but I could definitely pick out where I was at, what I did, where I saw things. There is the gate, the front gate, that little gate right there is where I pulled guard. There's a tower that was right here also that I pulled guard. I mean, it's really cool. You see the actual outline of the HESCO barriers. T-walls are up as well. Our fire pit was right here. This was our entire motor pool. But yeah, we got a lot of, I wouldn't say we had a lot, but we definitely did get a decent amount of indirect fire from the terrorists out here, the Al-Qaeda, Taliban, whoever. But it was a very interesting time. Oh boy, very interesting time. Definitely more to the exciting time of my life. But yeah, and everything else around it, like I said, that was Afghan army base. Yep, this is this whole region, this whole bowl area was called Coast Province. Should have led with that at the beginning. But yeah, that's where my unit was, or at least the squadron I was with, the 6-4 Cav. Which sad to say, first division or first ID, 3rd Brigade does not exist anymore. I believe you have only now 1st, 2nd, and 4th division or brigades. 1st, 2nd, and 4th brigades of the first ID. And they're all out of Fort Riley. So my brigade was out of Fort Knox, Kentucky. I would love to see DCS World get this level of detail on this camp, because when I was flew in DCS World, that camp doesn't exist in the in that map, and I was kind of disappointed. Let's fly out this way. I don't know where the other cops are up here. The cops up here are, or the other camps. But this is definitely, we'll go up in this pass. There was one incident that happened at Camp Clark that I remember very clearly. We had some indirect fire coming in on us. It was like 6 in the morning. And all of a sudden you hear the alarm, incoming. We all go to the bunker, and we're hearing all the fire hit. They're walking them in. One of the bunkers had a direct hit, but no one was in it. The people that were supposed to be in it were actually still asleep in their bunks, and they were just like, nah, we're just not gonna move. And they no injuries. That was kind of crazy. As far as I'm aware, there was no injuries, at least. But that was really crazy. And what was even more nuts is that when that happened, we were all in the bunker, and we were told, if you hear a freight train that sounds like it's about to land on top of you, that's a bad sign. We had a really loud sound to come over us. We start diving on top of each other. Next thing you know, we pop our heads out. It's 2 F-16s on the deck that was doing basically a a scare tactic. Can't, since they like to drop mortars or fire mortars from the top of schools, and we can't drop bombs or fire back when they do that. Even if it's an abandoned school, can't fire at it. Rules of engagement, can't fire at a school, period. But yeah, so they used a couple F-16s on the deck to scare the living bejesus out of us and the enemy. But yeah, that was the one time I thought, well, I'm about to die. But man, I remember that one very clearly. There was also a time in the tower guard. I was up in the tower. I'm looking out in the distance. Actually, I was looking out towards these mountains over here, in this direction, and I just see a little poof like right over here, another poof right here, another poof like right here. They're just walking in the mortars, and I'm like, huh? And I called it up, and then that's when the alarms went off. I'm like, oh, glad I called that in. I wasn't sure what I was seeing at first. I'm like, what the heck is that? Yeah, they were just walking them. I don't think they actually had any mortars that actually made it into base, but they were definitely trying to. Another little flyby of the Camp Clark. So nostalgic. Nothing really of like bad, I want to say, for me at least, happened. We did have an incident where we lost the crew due to RPG through the front windshield of one of their MRAPs. Yeah, that was bad. That was like the only like extreme thing. Well, we actually had another incident where we one of our maintenance trucks, I believe, if I remember correctly, I got hit with an IED, and the crew got sent back to Germany. I think I don't know if it was the entire crew got sent back to Germany for TBIs, or if it was just the gunner, because I know the gunner, the 50 cal, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, the 50 cal came off its mount and bounced off of the top of it, the Kevlar, and he had to be evac'd out. Man, but this was long ago, so I'm hoping I'm getting that one right. We're gonna go back to Salerno now. But yeah, enjoyed my time in the United States Army. Did 4 years active duty, 2008 to 2012. As soon as I got out of there, it was either do 4 years of interactive ready reserve, or do 1 year of Ohio Army National Guard. I did the 1 year at the Guard, and then they asked me, hey, by the way, do you want to stay for another 4 years? Oh, and by the way, just to sweeten the pot up, we'll give you your E5, aka sergeant rank, and we'll call it a day. And I'm like, cool, leadership role. Yeah, I'll take it. I regretted it. To this day, I will forever call the Army, or the Army National Guard, the Nancy Guard. Never met a bunch of soldiers that just were disrespectful, unprofessional. I mean, active duty, it's got far more better quality soldiers. But at the same time, though, that was at a very, very small part of the Guard. I only was like 2 different units. So I won't say the entire Army National Guard is bad, but what I experienced was bad. Where is this airfield at? Did I miss it? It's gonna blend in because it has a dirt airfield. I shouldn't miss it though because of the all those helipads. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's still up there. It's up there to the left right here. So also, if you guys are still watching this, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I love how much this channel has come about, and I love having you guys here. I love doing these type of videos. a little more informative, interesting, something different than most channels probably would do. We're going to be also adding stuff to the channel. I keep saying I will, but I am going to add more stuff. America Truck Simulator is going to come back. Just got to find time. We're going to be adding Farming Simulator. Just got to figure out the process of doing that. Sea Power is going to be coming back. It's just that one takes a little bit of time to figure out the recording process and editing. But we are going to bring other simulators. I love simulators. It's like the only type of games I play are sims. And that's what I want to bring to this channel. And more informative, more fun, more interesting. And yeah, go ahead, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps me out a ton. And I love you guys. You guys have been awesome and very, very helpful. I believe this is Salerno to my 12 o'clock. We're going to try to land. We're just going to land her on the dirt strip. And yep, that's it. We're just go ahead and drop altitude. See if we can do a combat landing with a Chinook. So we're gonna drop altitude real fast. You gotta remember, my controls are inverted, so when I want to go down, I'm actually going up. Pull the front end up so we can kind of brake. All right. Oh, are we gonna actually do a nice smooth landing? Oh. Oh, that was nifty. I wish I was I wish I was using this recorder right here. That would have been a beautiful landing. Rate the landing. If you made it this far into the video as well, rate the landing. That was gorgeous. I don't know. That's probably my absolutely best landing with a Chinook I've ever done. Holy crap. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Kind of a different kind of video for me. I've never really done like a storytelling video, but that's what we just did. And hopefully it was informative and it was enjoyable. Sharing with you guys my experience in the military and in the environment that I experienced essentially. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.